Female wolves are as sharp-toothed as the males, and they hunt just as good. Female bears fight like demons. So why my tribe won't let women lift their heads from the cooking pot.
People are not always wise. They act like beasts when it suits them, or invent foolish things rather than learn what animals know.
Listen, Tristan. Why do you always forgive everyone for everything? Punch them once, and they respect you right away.
I don't need that kind of respect, Amiri. It brings nothing but suppressed anger. Sooner or later, they'll understand they were wrong and apologize for their carelessness and rash words.
I should have stayed there, probably. But then who would take revenge? I'll take revenge for as long as I live. It's too bad our paths lie side by side, Jethal.
I find no pleasure in bearing you as an ally either. Perhaps the day will come when you and I settle our arguments once and for all. For now, just stay quiet and do what you must.
You have the manners of a monster. You are more like a troll than an elf. Where is your pride?
Everyone in the party thinks you're the quiet one. But with me, you are surprisingly eloquent. But perhaps you'd be so kind as to show me your legendary reticence.
Jubilas, you've been to many countries, seen many different customs. There are places where a sharp word nets you a knife in the back.
Very true. But on the other hand, I'm not helpless either. My words might sometimes be painful, but a vial of alchemical fire hurts a good deal more.
You hurt everyone. Why? Your tongue is like a snake.
I never hurt anyone without a good reason. I point out people's mistakes for them. It's just that hardly anybody likes to admit they're wrong. So they get angry at me instead of thanking me and improving themselves.
Lindsay, I don't want to talk about myself, or my family, or my life. I don't.
I even didn't open my mouth yet, and already you're shutting me up. I just wanted to ask if you had any salt left.
You are too cruel. If you do not control the beast in you, you'll become an animal yourself.
I've always been an animal. They wanted to raise me like a watchdog, but they got themselves a wild wolf.
You can fight. You aren't afraid. I have seen this. So why do you avoid fighting?
Because every battle, win or lose, is another defeat. Every death is another soul that will never come to repent and be forgiven.
Amiri, I know you must understand that death is inevitable. And eventually you will have to face it.
Are you going to babble on about Brodus again? Do you see that rock? Go and hit your head on it, or I will.
Torag is the patron of pointless fuss. He teaches the forging of metal without thinking of the rust that will eventually turn it to sand.
Then a new blacksmith will forge new metal. Torag will help the grandson the way he helped his grandfather.
Isn't it folly trying to recover the gnome's lost immortality? Nothing is eternal. Is there truly a difference in the face of oblivion to live for 10 years or 1,000,000? The whole first world will come to an end at some point.
I don't know about the end of the world, but your nagging is certainly endless. This makes you somewhat of a living phenomenon.
You serve Desna, right?
Not quite. But still, you know, with my way of life, you can't have too much luck. Sometimes I donate to a temple of the great dreamer, but I don't go overboard.
You studied writing for such a long time, put so much effort into your art, and they threw you out of the academy. Yet in spite of all this, you didn't give up. Why?
Maybe because if I did give up, it would mean that they got what they wanted. Or no, maybe because life without writing would be so boring. To be honest, I never really thought about it.
You write and you write, Lindsay, but what's the point if you will be forgotten after you die?
That's why I'm writing, so I won't be forgotten. My stories will belong to the ages. Yes, the ages. I won't accept anything less.
It's strange that you held on to your love of storytelling after you were expelled from the academy.
It's not strange at all. I write for myself and for other people, and not for those bloated toads at the academy. People like my stories, and I couldn't ask for more.
I turned to Grotus when I lost everything. You lost everything too, Lindsay. Why do you keep clinging to your old life?
Why do you ask? Have my hands withered? Did my eyes fall out? Maybe I forgot all the letters, or got a cursed inkwell that evaporates whenever I reach for it. As long as none of that happens, I'll keep writing, just like always. Why do you think I've lost anything at all?
I am amazed by your inexhaustible energy. It seems strange you can be so joyful after everything that happened.
And you're always sullen and pouting, Harem. Smile a little. If we do die at some point, I'd prefer to be buried with a smile on my face, not with a glum frown.
This world might be full of suffering, but friends like you make me put up with it.
Thanks. I value you a lot too, no matter how much you grumble.
You had it tough, enslaved by the Technic League. Tell me, didn't you ever think about putting an end to all the suffering?
You mean cut my throat? That's for weaklings. Hell no, I prefer cutting other people's throats.
I don't understand why you entertain your flesh with base pleasures. They fade quickly, leaving only a headache and a bad taste in your mouth. Wouldn't it be better to ponder the eternal?
Hey, I think about eternity. Unless the priests are lying, I'll go to Elysium after I die, to an eternal feast with Callistria. You think I drink too much and sleep around? Well, imagine what goes on at the feast of the goddess of lust.
Will you escape from the Technic League's agents? Will they catch you, or will you catch them? Will you die sooner or later than them? This is all happening in a moment before eternity. So what does it matter who wins?
What is an eternity of dust and ashes worth? That short moment of life that you don't give a damn about. That's all I have. So yes, it does matter how I spend it.
Sarenrae teaches mercy. But isn't death the greatest mercy? An end to the suffering of frail flesh and the restless mind.
I don't think so. Death releases us from suffering, it's true. But it also takes away our chance to atone for our sins.
Everyone is striving somewhere, wanting something, fighting for something, like the silly fuss of little blind mice.
But you fight beside us. Is this because you don't understand your own God's teachings? Or perhaps there's wisdom in participating in worldly matters?
This world is full of filth, anger, and suffering. When it's gone, everyone will feel better.
You say strange things. Who is there to feel better if no one exists? Let's instead try to make the world better for those who are still alive.
Even the gods will disappear sooner or later. What about us? Oblivion even makes gods equal to mortals.
Sarenrae does not fear non-existence, nor am I afraid of death, inevitable as it is. Mortals imitate the gods in many ways. That's the point of faith.
You are disappointed in Shellen, as I am in Torog. Listen closely, and maybe you, too, will hear a barely audible whisper. Perhaps Grotus will speak to you, too.
No one is talking to me, Harem. And if I start hearing whispers, it means I have problems with my head, not with my faith.
You are very beautiful, Valerie. I will feel regret when such beauty dies.
Of all the dubious compliments I've ever heard, this one is probably the most doubtful.
Had I not met Grotus's followers in my darkest hour, I might have taken the same path as you.
I don't think of it as a path. The gods simply don't have a place in my life, that's all. And if you were disappointed in the gods, you would be preaching atheism as passionately as you preach the teaching of Grotus.
You shouldn't grieve for your family. The bonds of family is a trap set for fools, a yoke they hang on their necks to make you slave to essentially strangers.
You know nothing about a family, abomination. You never had one.
You talk so much, intoxicated by the sound of your own voice. But this is merely a mask, an attempt to deceive even yourself. For deep inside, you greatly fear that you are as boring and insignificant as everyone else.
And who made you the expert? What's next? You ask me about my relationship with my father?
Knock, knock. If you're going to stare, stare in another direction, or I'll pluck out your eyes.
Knock, knock can't help it. First time see corpse walking around and insulting him. Usually only living do it.
You have a pretty face. Should I make a zombie out of you? Though you'd cause more laughter than admiration.
I like being alive and laughing with my friends. But what feelings do you cause? Retching at best.
Your mother was human, right? So your father must have been very handsome. Too bad he decided to dilute his blood. With an elven mother, you might have been a beauty.
What do you care about my family? You got yours killed, and now you gossip about others?
It's so amusing how you try to seem beautiful. Who's going to set their eyes on your little painted face? Maybe some half-orc or a half-troll.
You know, whoever killed you, I'd like to find him and shake his hand.
Tell me, Ragonga, how does Octavia, with her noble elven blood, put up with...
Another word, and I'll rip your head off.
You are beautiful and young, desired. It's a pity you do not use what gifts fate has bestowed upon you.
You know how to fight. Your spirit is strong, and you fear neither disease nor age. It's a pity you haven't found better use for your own gifts.
I've heard a hypothesis that northern barbarians are descended from frost giants. Looking at you, Amiri, I tend to think there's a modicum of truth in this.
Giants? Aim higher. I'll have you know, we descended from the mountains themselves.
I wonder why, in the vast majority of cases, brains and brawn are reciprocally proportional.
What? Oh, gnome. I feel it in my gut you just said something bad about me. Gods forbid one day I understand what you're babbling.
Why do you need such a huge sword? Have you ever considered that you might be compensating for something?
You want to see the view from on top of it?
They say pets look like their owners. I always thought this statement was ridiculous until I met you, Ekon, and your wolf. It's as sullen as you.
You should have a rattlesnake. Noisy and venomous.
You know, Ekon, you might be rude, but your traveling experience could save many lives. If only there was someone capable of writing it all down in simple and straightforward terms.
Are you hinting at yourself? Don't get your hopes up. I don't think we'll be having any long conversations.
Ekundayo. This is your full name, right, Ekon? Does it mean something? It's not that it's important that I know it, but you see, curiosity makes me restless.
All names mean something. Yours probably means acid-tongued or pestilence.
I recall a lecture at the College of Mysteries. The professor was well versed in the brain and various of its deviations. He demonstrated a patient who'd begun to hear voices after being hit by an arrow in the temporal region.
Why do you and the others try so hard to convince me I'm crazy? Is it because you secretly know that I'm right, And you're afraid to admit it, even to yourself?
You are quite an unusual specimen, even by undead standards. Why don't you bequeath your body to science, after your final death, of course?
In your own mind, at least, you seem to be quite a famous intellectual. Don't you want to bequeath your brain to science? I'd be happy to extract it for you.
Why? Is it fall already? Haymaking time? And I forgot my scythe, today of all days. But we could put yours to proper use.
Your jokes are quite amusing. If you die, I'll have to bring you back. Not in your entirety, just the head. Everything below your clever little head is quite useless anyway.
I admit, when I set off on this expedition, I was sure of gaining new discoveries I could write about in my works, and new sensations capable of reducing bleaching. I'll say nothing about discoveries, but I have had quite a few new sensations. Too bad they're predominantly unpleasant. An interesting troop we are. If I saw us on a forest road, I'd grab my crossbow before someone yelled, "Stand and deliver." You know, Lindsay, your writing aspirations are quite commendable, but the way you're going about it, without a proper academic education, you'll never rise above writing cheap tales for peasants.
I've seen this academic education of yours. A pack of arrogant peacocks trying to outshine each other with their highbrow talk. Hell no. I'd rather write my tales than become a smug toad like those professors.
You shouldn't have quit the Academy of Grand Arts, Lindsay. You definitely have a talent for writing, but talent is like an uncut diamond, worthless without skill.
It wasn't me who quit the Academy. The Academy quit me, and I don't regret it a single bit.
It's great that at least someone in this party besides me understands the power of words. Perhaps you will really amount to something in time, Lindsay.
You really think so? That's very flattering. Thank you.
Stop interrupting me all the time. Of everyone in our party, I have the most vast travel experience. I've been to such corners of the world where you wouldn't have survived even for a minute. So believe me when I say that I know what will be better for all of us.
By all of us, you must mean you and the chorus of praise you must constantly hear inside that thick skull of yours.
I have to admit, the customs of Numerian nomads may seem horrible to us, but they may be the only way to survive among other hostile peoples.
I don't give a shit about their customs. Selling your children into slavery is a nasty business, no matter what they're up against.
I'm surprised by your kindness and naivety, Tristian. People rarely remain untroubled enough to hold on to such gifts as they come of age. The world is cruel, you know.
I guess I'm lucky then. The teachings of the goddess save her servants from all kinds of trouble.
Tristian, do you know what your problem is? You have no ambition.
Is that a problem? I have Serenre's mercy. That's all I need.
I wonder, do mammoth lords have their own writing system? They must have much to tell.
The legends of my people are passed from generation to generation. If someone doesn't get into a legend, then he's a weakling, and there's nothing to talk about.
Hey, Amiri, what are you thinking about?
I'm thinking, if you tear off a halfling's legs, would she be a quarterling?
Ekin, I meant to say, I'm truly sorry all this happened to your family, but life isn't over.
For that Ekon it is. He died that night. The man you're talking to now is a different man. The old Ekon wouldn't even recognize him.
Ekin, you're from Absalom, right? Why do you have an accent?
My homeland is Tuvia. My native language is Osiriani. I moved to Absalom long after I learned how to speak.
You constantly talk about the end of times, that we'll all die. Don't you ever just want to have some fun?
I have fun when I watch your futile attempts to avoid the inevitable. It's truly funny.
Oh, another ink blot. And at the very bottom of the page. Now I need to write the whole thing over again.
Wait, don't tear it out yet. Let me see. You know, we could make a picture from this ink blot. There, a line here and there, and now it's a...
Reg, I need some inspiration. Strike a heroic pose.
A pose, you say? I like poses. The ones I like would inspire you for something quite different, though.
Tristan, why are you staring at me like that? Do I have an ink stain on my cheek again?
Yes, actually. But it wasn't about that. I just like to watch you write. You're so focused. As if you're trying to put a part of yourself down on the pages.
Hey, Amiri, teach me how to slash like you do. Hero will find use for that.
Oh boy. You are bold like a Kellig, but too weak to fight like us.
Amiri, who do you worship? Which god likes stabbers like yours?
I worship Gorham, our lord in iron. He laughs at toothpicks like these kookeries of yours. He has a better way about a bloodshed.
You shoot well, but bow is a weapon for cowards, not heroes.
I saw your kind hiding from enemies in dirt or pretending to be dead. Don't speak to me of cowardice.
Stabber got doll. Knock Knock needs new one. This one is rubbish.
Give your knife to me. We'll sharpen it.
Don't like dead shanks. If I die for good. Don't want to be dead shank and work for others.
Do not worry, beastling. Nobody in his or her right mind will even think of using your corpse.
Great word. Big words, ask. Extra words. All asleep, but still extra words.
If you think this pitiful impersonation will hurt my feelings... Hey! Stop doing that! I don't act like this!
Jump talks make others angry. Knock Knock wants to do the same.
Alas, my primitive critter, to achieve such a skill in sarcasm, one needs outstanding talent as well as a brilliant intellect, which I am afraid is unattainable for those of your kind. Hey! Stop pretending to be asleep, you little pest!
When Knock Knock becomes a hero, will he need someone to write of his exploits, like other Longshank heroes do?
I would love to meet an author who agrees to this position, especially considering the fact that the salary consists of chewed bones and bitten off fingers.
I know why you vomit with words. You are cursed.
The only thing I'm cursed with is your presence.
Why are you not afraid of Lindsay? She writes about you, steals your think thoughts.
I don't steal anything. I am trying to describe our adventures for future generations. I even have this part about you. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to scare you.
Why do you not file your teeth, Lindsay? Could bite then. Useful in fight. And eating. Both.
Ew, I don't even want to think about that. If my songs and spells aren't enough for you, go find another bard.
Haven't sacrificed anything to Mother in a long time. Need to find someone special. If Lindsay disappears, everyone notices. Shame. Would make great sacrifice. I need to think of a title for myself. Knock Knock all terrifying, or Knock Knock all conquering? Knock Knock fearsome fullering? Needs more think thoughts. I had a dream recently that I am a hero already and battle a dragon on the back of an owlbear. Then I fell off his back and woke up during the most interesting part. Tavia likes shiny thingies on her fingers, in her ears. Knock Knock likes also. Look, made myself a thingy on a rope.
If I had kids, I would scare them with goblin jewelry.
You are like Lindsay. Also stick your nose in a book. Still better than Halfshank.
Hey, don't talk of Lindsay like that. Can't stay quiet about her. You're not in love with her, are you?
Knock fall when making camp. In big puddle. Got clean.
Maybe the gods do answer our prayers.
You speak strange sometimes. Mix up your words. But in a funny way. Is it magic?
Ha! This fellow has a taste in humor, not like all of you.
Still rings in my ears from Reg Zaps. Mighty stuff. Want some?
No. You impose enough risk on all of us already. Would you have lightnings, I wouldn't be able to sleep at all.
Fought with orcs once. Stupid Longshanks. Strong. Stupid. Slide between legs. Get behind. Stabbing back. Orc is dead.
You haven't seen real orcs from mighty clans. Those are the worthy opponents, and their backs made from stone you can't stab. What? That's true, I tell you.
Regengar's the best with words among other Longshanks. Doesn't mix words as much. Almost as good as goblins from my tribe.
Did you just... what? Complimented me? Keep your praise to yourself, Shatshank.
Is your Sarenrae better than Lamashtu? Let's compare.
I don't want to use my goddess's name in vain, Knock Knock. Judging by what I know about Lamashtu, you shouldn't as well.
Eastian, where does Sarenrae live? On the sun?
No, Knock Knock. But once I heard a story of a powerful wizard that made his home on the sun.
Would I worship Fire Goddess, I would not heal. I would burn everything. Bam! Whoosh! Ha! All become ashes.
There are followers of Sarenrae that prefer her other aspects, but she definitely won't rejoice at an arsonist joining her worshippers.
Look, Eastian, I made Lamashtu symbol, like yours.
Very, very beautiful, Knock Knock. I especially like this piece of glass you plunged in the middle of Rat's head. Now, would you please take it away from me?
Oh, shiny metals, shiny hair, shiny face. Blech!
I wish half of my unwelcome suitors share your disgust with everything you mentioned.
So many metals. Would make a lot of stabbers of those.
I warn you, Knock Knock. Any piece of my armor goes missing, you will regret it.
What you've said about your childhood is just mind-boggling. Do all the northern tribes treat their women like that?
Well, no. Not all of them. I'm the lucky one. I was born in the most savage tribe in the whole country. Even our neighbors looked at us like we're goblins.
Amiri, I've been meaning to ask you for a while now. Do you do anything special to style your hair?
You bet! You grab an enemy, you headbutt him in the stomach, and my style is good and done!
I think your wolf isn't a regular animal. There's so much human in him.
Some believe people can be reborn as animals. Could it be true? I don't know.
You know what I think, Ekin? We need to pick a moment, drag you into the tavern, and get you hammered. Maybe you'll stop being so grouchy for a moment.
Thank you. I appreciate your concern. One day I will go to the tavern with you. I promise.
And have you thought about returning to your hometown? There must still be people there who you know.
No. Many died. For others, I died. I couldn't go back.
Is it true the undead don't feel anything?
Right now, I feel substantial irritation from your silly questions.
If you wanted, I could lend you some of my cosmetics. The color of your skin frightens me sometimes. And not only me.
You offer me a chance to smear beetroot and ground chalk on my face? No, thank you. If I needed makeup, I'd bring a set from Keonan. My former family knows their way around eyeshadow and frankincense.
Too bad you've never been to Numeria. They'd beat your arrogance out of you quickly.
You are wrong here, darling. I've been to Numeria more than once and had a great time discussing with their men of science the nuances of politics, culture, and many other things. Which you know as much about as a pig knows about cakes.
Juby, what keeps you in our party, huh? You just keep nagging and you won't shut up. You don't like this and you really hate that, so pick up your things and get out of here.
I'm not nagging. I'm giving valuable recommendations. And luckily, unlike a hysterical vixen I could name, our leader understands this.
Damn it, Juby, could you shut up for a minute? I've got a headache from your cleverness.
It's because my sagacious remarks have impacted a brain not meant for mental activity. And don't call me Juby.
You know, Jubilost, I think you just enjoy annoying people. You do it on purpose, to get bright new emotions out of them, and fend off your bleaching for another day. Am I right?
I've never thought about it like that, but it sounds like quite an idea. I think I'll add a little more sarcasm to my conversations. Like you said, for my health.
By the way, Juby, pray tell me...
No, you tell me. Who gave you the right to address me in such a disrespectful manner? I certainly don't recall ever letting anyone call me that. So please, do refrain from such vulgar familiarity in the future.
So, why didn't you stay at the academy? You'd be living on Easy Street, never be hungry or cold. All you'd have to do is just write your poems.
In Pitax, Easy Street is inhabited by those who diligently lick King Aravetti's boots. Or worse, especially if they do it literally. No, thank you. I'd rather sing at a roadside tavern.
Knock knock, don't you feel sad? You are the only one of your kind in our midst. I believe you get lonely sometimes.
Yes, being a hero is tough, especially with Longshanks around. But I stay patient. It's my duty. Stay patient with you.
Why is Ragonga so... Ragonga? I love him terribly, but can he be just a tiny bit less Ragongarian? It's strange to sit like this, not expecting the lash, not fearing that your owner might show up, and you'll have to humiliate yourself just to live another day. I didn't get much sleep again.
I know. You were screaming in your sleep. If I could drag your nightmares outside and punch them in the face.
Do you remember the ones we lived with in the same barracks? What do you think happened to them?
I don't think about them, and I recommend you don't either. We have each other, and I don't care about anyone else.
Reg, you are so moody today, and I can see you didn't get much sleep. What's bothering you?
You don't remember, do you? You woke me up 4 times last night, kicking and screaming. But I guess you didn't wake up. What those bastards from the League did to us.
No, Reg. I don't want any of that wine. Didn't I ask you to leave that vendor alone? I know I did. And what did you do? Sloshed him.
Yeah, so what? I didn't kill him. Then there, don't pout. He's richer than both of us. What does he care about a few bottles?
I marvel at your patience, Tristian. Didn't you ever want to curse or yell or smash someone's face?
I have felt those feelings, of course. I'm not a stranger to common human passions. But it doesn't become a servant of Sarenrae to act out his sordid urges.
You are so young, Tristian. But you've seen so much. It must be hard, carrying your faith to all the ends of the world.
Yes, Octavia. It's a heavy burden. Sometimes I doubt I can handle it. But I close my eyes and appeal to the healing light, and I feel the presence of my goddess, and I know, if not me, then who?
When I talk about slavery and freedom, you get that face, like I saw on the other slaves. But you've never been in shackles, have you?
Each of us is shackled in our own way. Some shackles are just harder to see than others.
You are strange, Tristian. You put up so patiently with jokes and insults, and you're always ready to hear out and forgive. Some may see this as weakness, but I know that inside you are harder than steel.
Thank you, Octavia. Too bad people so seldom recognize the true difference between weakness and strength.
Most nobles I've seen were arrogant, even with their equals. And you aren't ashamed to be sharing a meal with former slaves.
I've lived among mercenaries for a long time, and they're a motley bunch, from nobles to branded convicts. In a situation like that, you quickly learn to judge people by what they do, not by the colour of their coat of arms, or how ancient their lineage is.
It's good you're with us, Valerie. You're like a mighty oak we can lean our backs against. Oh, but I didn't mean you're thick-headed, or thick any other way. Oh no, I put my foot in my mouth again.
It's all right. I understand your good intentions. I'm glad to be here for my friends.
You are amazingly beautiful. No, I'm not flirting. Although, I'm not saying I wouldn't like it.
Don't waste your time. Maybe someday I'll find someone to share my life with, but it will definitely be a man.
Amiri, you have such big biceps. Wow, let me touch them.
Go touch yourself behind your tent, asshole. You're thinking what your wrong parts again.
Let's see which one of us is a more glorious warrior. I'll show you my scars, and you show me yours.
How about I make you some new ones instead?
You're staring at me again. What do you want?
Deep in your soul, good and evil are fighting. I'm watching to see which one wins.
You're so boring. For once in your life, can you forget about the end of all things and come have a drink with us?
You think you'll enjoy drunken harem better than the sober one? You're wrong, Ragongar. You are so wrong. You'd rather not see or hear me like that.
You know, I think I understand why Torag rejected you. Even the gods can't stand your constant whining.
You're completely right. Torag is deaf to the troubles of his followers. That is why I rejected him. Think, would you pray to Callistria if it was her fault you couldn't do anything in bed, like I can't do anything in the smithy?
You're so annoying. Yes, we'd all die sooner or later. Thanks for the news. Why remind us about it all the time?
You cannot forget about it, Ragongar. Every moment you must consider the coming hour of your death, or you will fail to face it with dignity when it does come.
If you want to die so much, why don't you just stop eating? We'll save some food that way, too.
You eat more than me, and drink enough for 3. How do you look when you talk about the portions of others?
Jathal, why are you staring at me, huh? You want to turn me into a zombie? Go bite someone else!
You wouldn't even make a good skeleton. Although if the undead creature inherited your magical powers, it might not be so bad.
The whole crusade must be chasing you. No one likes the undead, especially when they're as insolent as you.
And half the Technic League is hunting you down. But so what? I might not like you, but anyone foolish enough to pursue our party will die the instant our paths cross.
I'm getting drunk when we return to the capital. Jathal, you keeping me company? We'll get drunk together. Dead drunk.
Such sophisticated humor. Why don't we install a Strapado in the capital for pun lovers?
Jubilos, I don't get it. How are you still alive? You're so small, and you always piss everyone off.
Ah, it's my strategic planning skills. There's always someone big and dumb beside me who is more convenient to aim at.
I thought super clever professors like you didn't even take a shit without a crowd of armed guards. Forget about an expedition to the Stolen Lands.
Yes, I have to admit, coming here may not have been my finest idea, although the notes I've taken during our travels are quite valuable. It would be a pity if they were never to see the light because their author ended his journey in a troll's stomach.
Hey, Pipsqueak, what are you writing there, huh? About how gloriously we kicked their asses in the last brawl?
Well, actually, I'm writing a tale about a little halfling, but when he grows up, he'll definitely kick someone's butt, just like you.
Listen, Lindsay, can you write a story about me? One where I'm bursting into a crowd of enemies, lopping off their heads, and then kicking their corpses and laughing like a madman.
What kind of story is that? That's your biographer's job.
Hey, Nat, sing us one of your Goblin songs.
Let me think. No, you stink.
It's so great to be free, to breathe deep without a collar around your throat, not to fear the whip and go wherever you like. Right, my Octavia?
Reg, I've asked you, don't call me yours. Every time you say that, you make me feel like I'm back in chains.
I saw a book here. It was quite interesting, with pictures. I think it was called Jade Wand Unlocks Jasper Gates. Too bad I couldn't steal it. But I remember a few pictures.
I think I know which book you're talking about. Are you suggesting we try it?
Remember that day in Starfall? I was laying there with broken ribs and my face all smashed up. And you rocked my head on your knees and wiped the blood from my face.
I remember, Reg. I do. And I'll never forget it. But that's all over. Forever.
If it wasn't for you, I wouldn't have survived there. I'd have died under the lash or jumped on a guard's spear.
I wouldn't have survived without you either. Your rage gave me hope, even on the edge of despair.
How is it you have time to put on makeup every morning?
If you didn't sleep until midday, you'd at least have time to wash your face.
The only thing better than a good fight is a fight that you're still standing afterwards. So why is everyone staring at me like that, huh? Did I forget to wash my face after I ripped out that creep's throat? Who will remember me when I die, huh? Who's going to cry? Just my Octavia. Or would she? Aren't you tired of pretending to be a saint? I know deep inside you're just like us.
You mean I have the same red blood flowing through my veins? Yes. In that way, I'm no different from you. But as for the rest...
You keep babbling on and on about forgiveness, but I've seen you in battle. Standing there, covered in blood from head to toe, the look of doom on your face. Is that what forgiveness looks like?
Sarenrae grants healing to those who can be healed, and interrupts the life journey of those who are too late repenting their sins. I am just her humble instrument.
Tell me, are all of Sarenrae's priests this boring? With preachers like you, she must not have many followers.
The healing light burns in the hearts of thousands upon thousands of believers. In trying to insult my goddess, you're only displaying your own ignorance.
Hey, pushover priest, can you do anything at all, or is wagging your tongue the only thing you're good at?
I'm no pushover. In fact, I find it difficult to contain myself when I hear your foul words. It requires strength. But you just try to insult an innocent in my presence, and you'll see what I'm capable of.
Hey, Tristan, did you by any chance make a vow of celibacy? If not, maybe you should come show me some love. The love of your goddess. You might just turn me to the light.
Don't you dare mistake your debauched lust for love. That's disgusting.
Valerie, I have a hole in my shirt again. Could you mend it for me? You know your way around a needle.
If I pick up a needle for you, it'll be for sewing your dirty mouth shut.
You're such a prude, but I know deep down you're dreaming of spending a night with me.
I'd be happy to spend a night alone with you, burying your corpse somewhere deep in the woods.
What a beautiful sky. I remember a similar sky in Hajod Hakados, when Octavia and I hid on a roof, escaping from the Technic League's agents.
What is this I hear? Ragonga talking about beauty? I was hoping at least this one vice was alien to you. Well, now I guess you embody absolutely everything I hate.
You're sweet, Amiri. I'm sure you have a kind heart, if only you learned to control your passions.
A barbarian without passions is like without guts. That's it. If I lose my rage, who will fight for you while you babble your prayers, huh?
The trials and tribulations of your fruitless land have hardened you, Amiri.
That's right. A southern boy like you wouldn't last a day with us. You'd either freeze or someone would eat you for a snack.
You shouldn't treat Sarenrae with such disdain. She's a great goddess who has defeated many horrible monsters. Her shining sword has wiped whole cities from the face of the world.
Not bad. Then why do you keep nagging about mercy and forgiveness? Tell me about how she slaughtered her enemies.
Merciful doesn't mean spineless. In one hand, Sarenrae holds a healing light. In the other, a killing sword.
I know you are good with your little sword. And you don't run away in a fight. But after a battle, you always have that face like you just swallowed a hedgehog. What's the point of fighting if you don't enjoy it?
I'm sorry that I cannot relieve your pain, Ekin.
Don't blame yourself. It is my burden.
Sarenrae grants mercy to all. But the ones who did this to your village, I think even my goddess wouldn't find words of forgiveness for them.
Yes, not everything can be forgiven. And there are some things that shouldn't be.
You know, Ekin, perhaps you should venerate Sarenrae. She could heal the wounds on your heart.
Torag is a good god. He was with me when I was at my weakest, when I was dying. Why should I turn away from him now?
Are you happy that the world will cease to exist? What if there was a way to stop Grotus from coming? Would you do it?
You don't understand. Grotus is not a destructor like Rovagug. He is merely the herald of the fact that the world and everyone in it are mortal by their nature. Everything carries inside it the seed of its own destruction. It can be delayed, but never prevented.
I'm afraid for you, Harem. This whisper, I fear it might do terrible harm to your mind.
Tristian. I understand when others talk to me about insanity, but you are a priest, anointed to mysteries of your deity. Would you reject the revelations of Sarenrae if they would cost you your mind?
Perhaps with divine assistance, you could be healed of your unnatural unlife. Do you really prefer to be a walking corpse?
Who are you lying to, priest? Me or yourself? The only healing your goddess can offer me is a final death.
I like your stories, and it doesn't matter how much truth there is in them. They bring peace and give us hope, something so many of us lack.
There! At least someone understands the true benefit of storytelling. Everyone keeps saying it's genre work or escapist. Thank you. Your words are like an elixir to my soul.
Have you ever thought of joining Sarenrae's followers? You are merciful, and your soul is pure. You would enjoy our sunlit temples.
I'm sorry, but that's not going to work. I'm allergic to temples. Seriously. As soon as I enter one, I start laughing so hard that the candles go out.
You amaze me, Lindsay. You've seen so many gruesome, vulgar, and disgusting things, but kept your childlike joyfulness and spontaneity. It's such a beautiful gift.
I couldn't understand that. Was it a praise or a subtle insult?
There must have been many others of your faith at the Academy.
You'd be surprised, but no. It's called the Academy of Grand Arts, but the Goddess of Beauty isn't widely honored there. Callistria and Desna are much more common.
Didn't you ever think about changing your ways, Knock Knock? To be a bit less savage than your wild brethren?
Knock Knock is not like the others. Knock Knock wants to be a hero. Others don't. That's enough difference. Why more?
I realize you don't like me, Ragongar. But don't forget, we share in the common cause.
Someone is sharing in it, while someone else is cowering in the bushes. What goody-goody? Are you afraid of getting blood on your hands?
You can say any awful thing you want about me, Ragongar. Sarenrae teaches me to forgive. Insulting words spoken behind someone's back come from helplessness, not from anger.
Behind your back. I say everything I can think of to your face every chance I get.
Are we too cruel to our enemies? Perhaps some of them could still have been turned to the light.
What do you mean, we? I'm the one who's cruel to our enemies. You're the one who stands there babbling your prayers.
All life is a succession of tests. Sarenrae, grant me the strength to pass them all with dignity. There is so much pain, so much suffering in the world. Why can't we all live in peace? Why are we so bad at forgiving? Healing is my goddess's greatest gift. If only I didn't have to use it so often.
Your religion is insane. How could you pray to someone who wants to kill us all?
Grotus does not want anything. This pathetic world will come to an end one way or another. My God just patiently waits for that day. His path is patience and humility in the face of the inevitable.
Those voices you hear... I'm sorry, but are you sure it's really your God? Maybe you should think about your health.
Yes, I hear the voice of Grotus, although I don't always understand what he says or where he calls me. But is it insanity? Isn't it more insane to cover your ears and deny the truth about what's coming?
Jaethal, you were a judge for many years in your homeland. I don't understand. What made you turn against the law?
Laws are written by those in power, and not to constrain themselves, but to dominate the powerless. He who respects the law is worthy of contempt, like a slave who honors his shackles.
Jubilost, why are you so arrogant? Our party has a commander, and it's not you.
Because there's more knowledge in my head than in all of yours combined. Of course I do as our leader says, but don't expect me to keep my opinions to myself about what we should do.
How can you be so arrogant? Could the simple science of common decency be too complicated for such a learned man?
I'm not arrogant at all. On the contrary, I'm open to everyone. I just don't see the point in faking amiability. But it's rich to hear about arrogance from the noble born. You were taught from a young age to stick up your nose and avoid the truth like some oily mess that might smear your doublet.
I respect useful books, but who needs shallow stories? Fables about a knight who slew a dragon won't help you if you meet a dragon in real life.
Then they'll write books about me, Lindsay the Dragon Slayer. Or no, more like Lindsay who was not afraid to challenge a dragon and get heroically eaten in her prime. Sounds good, huh?
Sir Tristian. Sounds like the name of a knight in a ballad.
Thank you, Valerie. But I could hardly be a knight. I don't like fighting, and even less do I like fighting for sport.
You're a kind person, Tristian. It must be hard for you to witness all the atrocities that go on around here.
I draw strength from my goddess. If I begin to feel sad, I turn to Sarenrae in my prayers, and she gives me solace.
I respect your faith, but I can't agree with it. An atrocity is an atrocity, and it cannot be fixed with repentance. Everyone must pay for their misdeeds.
Of course they must. He who truly repents will do everything in their power to repair the harm he's done. That is his only path.
There is a nick in my sword again. Where's my whetstone? We're a strange group. More like a handful of outcasts than an army of heroes.